Dylan, what goes through a kind of a player's mindset when you see, a goalie, when you see Jonathan Burney suffer an injury like that? I mean, especially at that position.
Yeah, it's not good. To see a goalie stay down in discomfort. They're in such a vulnerable position when they're down and someone falls on top of them. So you never want to see that happen. And he's been such an important player for us, and he's been our best player this season. So past couple seasons. So he means a lot to us, and he's a great guy and does everything to have his body ready and his mind into the game, and you never want to see that happen to anyone. So I think we're hoping he's okay, and we still don't know, but you don't want to see that happen to any goalie.
Just on a different topic, you've been in a position now where you guys are sellers at the trade deadline, and I mean, your name isn't usually in the mix, but do you have you learned over the years, do you pay attention at all to rumors involving teammates or anything? I mean, it's hard to avoid this time of year, but just with that coming up on the horizon.
You know what? You don't pay too much of it. We play a lot of games and a busy schedule. You just try and worry about next game the next day. Trying to earn everything we can, and yes, you're aware of it. You just been here for a little bit now and seen some teammates and friends, and guys get traded, and it's part of the business. And at some point here, hopefully we're not in this position for much longer.
For example, last year with Athanasiou, how did you find out about that? I mean, he was someone you were friends with. Do you remember?
Yeah, that was a different situation where we showed up to the game and we were ready to go playing soccer before the game, and I don't know if you guys remember, he got pulled out of the game, and Dan Bylsma came and just said, "Hey, Andreas," which usually doesn't happen. So kind of found out that I think it was him and Greener, and it was tough feeling. It's, again, you got to be a pro, you got to play that game, and he understands it. We understood it, and it was at least we got the chance to see him after and say goodbye. Sometimes you don't even get to see the guy, and it's hard.
Lastly, just can it be tough on chemistry when you lose a guy, and especially, I mean, the deadline's a ways away, but right now you guys are probably playing some of the best hockey of the season, and then just kind of not know, is this the team that you're going to be, that's going to be left standing in the middle of April, or what's that going to look like?
Well, again, I mean, we don't focus on that. We focus on the next day, and tomorrow we have Dallas again, and they're made it to the Stanley Cup final last year, and they're fighting for their lives right now, and we are too, and we have the attitude. I have the attitude. Let's get on a run and see what happens, and you never know. We're playing all divisional games, and we're playing well right now, and we can't think about the deadline as much as it's uprooting for someone's life to be moved to another city, and they have to figure a lot of things out. But as a player and as a group, we're not thinking about that, and we're focused on each other and focused on what we need to do tomorrow night to win.
I did actually have one more. How far do you have Michigan going, and will you be able to watch the game tomorrow before having to come to the rink?
Yeah, I got them going all the way.
You do?
Both my brackets, so yeah, I have to. Hopefully they can do it. Go Blue.
Thank you.
Next up, Answer Khan and live.
Yeah, Dylan, I see where Cholowski got some reps on the power play today. If he gets in tomorrow or during however long he's up here, I mean, what do you think that he can bring?
Well, I mean, I've been following him down while he's been in Grand Rapids, and he's had a heck of a year there, and someone that can move the puck and skate with the puck, play with confidence, and hopefully, from everyone I've talked to, he's been doing that in Grand Rapids all year, so hopefully he can bring it here and and just be a steady puck mover. And he's got a great stick playing against him in practice, and in the summer he breaks up a lot of plays with the stick. So hopefully he can bring that while he's up here, and he's going to help whatever power play unit he's on if he is. So he's got a great shot and he moves the puck well. So hopefully he can do that for us.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah, thanks.
Next up, John Keating, Fox Sports Detroit.
Hey, first, cool that that you made the donation to the Jamie Daniels Foundation. So it's good on you for that. But my question is, from your standpoint, why do you think your team has found its legs a little bit in the last week or 10 days?
I think we've been playing, like, our process for the game. How we've been playing this season. It hasn't changed. I think the more we've been healthy, and the more we've been rested, it helps. We play a hard game, and we work hard. We work for each other. And I think the additions on the back end, there's just so much communication and talk, and we're finding guys. We're getting out of our zone clean, and as opposed to last year, it seemed like we just rimmed everything. And right now, I think we're getting timely goals and timely saves. And it seems like different guys scoring every night, which is great. And you need that to win. And then I said it with the save, Jonathan Bernier has been pretty stellar for us.
Thank you.
Next up, Art Regner, DetroitRedWings.com.
Hi, Dylan. I'm kind of curious, just because you're a little bit halfway through your first year as captain of the Red Wings. How has this year been for you? Is it that much different than just wearing an A? And how have you adjusted to this role?
Well, yeah, this season is very difficult. It's with COVID and everything. It's a grind. It's not like a normal season by any means. And there's a lot of protocols, a lot of things that I guess as a captain you have to think about. You have to have conversations about. And also a lot of things that it's not normal. So there's going to be guys coming to you and asking for what's going on, and it's just something I wish a lot of us in the world didn't have to deal with. And it is what it is. But it's I think the more you think about that and let it take away from your play and the team's play, that it'll catch up with you. And unfortunately, I think maybe it did at the beginning, and I was overthinking everything and bearing too much responsibility. So I just tried to really focus on how my play is affecting our team and how my play can help our team. So it's a different season. You can't really do anything on the road, can't do anything at home. So it's good to just focus on hockey, but there's also an aspect where we get to get the guys together or something to we had a lot of new faces. So it's been very challenging, but I feel we've gotten more comfortable with the season and all the protocols as well as I've gotten comfortable with being the captain, I guess.
How do you interact? Do you interact with the officials differently than you did when you were wearing the A?
No. Well, I mean, I think collectively as a group last year, there was a lot of complaining and things weren't going our way. And there was a lot of shouting from the bench. And I think collectively as a group, we've all tried to work on that. And I think we've done a great job this year. And we have to just play and we can't be yelling at the refs or be in their ear. So I really feel like, unless I absolutely need to go and say something, there's no need to. We need to gain their respect by our play, not by yelling at them or trying to talk to them and stuff like that.
As captain, my final question, do you have a special rule for your NCAA brackets where either you, Luke, or Merrill can only have Michigan going all the way?
No. I just do because they're the only team I watch this year.
All right. Thank you, Dylan. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next up, Danielle Bruce, Red Wings TV.
Now a Spartan has to come in and follow that up. And, we're having a much more disappointing March than you guys are. But my question for you, last night on Fabbris' hat trick goal, you had the assist, and Fabbris said that he was yelling at you to take it yourself and take the shot. So from your perspective, what was running through your head?
Well, initially when I got it, I was like, all right, here we go, Fabs, like, come on, join. And I heard him yell and kind of fall behind. And I was like, oh, come on, like, go for the hat trick. And, I had a kind of initial play. I was going to, go to the backhand and try and slide it over to him. And he said, take it. So at that point, you can't try and do, with the defenseman going back. I didn't want to, turn it over or, lose the puck. So I took it, and the defenseman made a nice play to, kind of disrupt the shot. And I knew he'd be back there. So it worked out perfect, I guess, that he was the good guy to say take it, and it came back to him. So that's how it goes as a teammate.
Yeah, it worked out nicely. You guys have had some great chemistry. And in the last 5 games, Dylan, you've been playing really well, 5 points in the last 5. And you guys had a 4-day break in between games before this 5 games. So do you think something happened over that time, or that rest was just needed for you guys to kind of get things going?
Yeah, I think so. I think, we've had a tough stretch. We play a lot of games, and that's how it's going to be coming up. So we had a couple great practices. We had a great workout on a day off, and it was it was just a much needed reset. And we've been home, and we've been taking advantage of home ice, and that's a huge thing in this league, is being really good at home. So I think it was much needed. We had some bumps and bruises, and we got healthy, and we got some more guys back, and it's we seem to be clicking.
And lastly, from me, you guys have been going with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. From the player's perspective, do you like going with 11 forwards? It seems like the core has been a little bit more engaged since rolling with that lineup.
Yeah, you play however the coach puts the lineup up, and it's something. You get an extra shift here and there, and you're into the game, and it's nice as a forward. I think defensemen with 7D, they might have different opinion on it, but it's it is what it is. We just try and play for each other and play hard, but it is nice to get an extra shift here and there.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yep, thank you.
Next up, Max Bolton with The Athletic.
Hey, Dylan, you mentioned following Dennis down in Grand Rapids. I'm wondering, is that something that you do every season, or just something that you've been able to do this year because there's so much extra free time for everybody?
No, it's something I do. I think a lot of guys follow Grand Rapids, and check by following it, I check this score box after the box score after every game. So read a couple articles and just really check in, see how they're doing, all the prospects, I guess. So it's something I enjoy doing.
And then you mentioned spent some time on the ice with Dennis this offseason. Where are you seeing, maybe differences in his game and how he's grown just in the last couple of years?
Yeah, well, he's been putting a lot of work. He's stayed in Detroit the past 3-4 summers, and I think the first thing is his strength and the transformation his body took by hard work in the gym, and you see it carry over on the ice. He has a more explosive first step, and he seems to be harder to push around, I guess, in front of the net in battles, and he's strong on his stick. So he's a hardworking guy, and he's done a lot to improve his game.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah, thanks.
Next up, Ted Colton, Detroit News.
All right, Dylan, one more of your former teams. U of M hockey. Obviously the selections this weekend, I think. Everybody's talking about their freshmen. Have you seen any of those guys or worked out with any of those guys? And how good is the team this year as far as that goes?
I haven't got to know them personally. I just follow them as well. Watch some games. Unfortunately, they watched that one there against Minnesota in the Big Ten semifinal, and you know, they're skilled. They're skilled players, and you know, the big defenseman Power, he's a good player, and you know, a couple of their skilled forwards are good, and you know, it'd be interesting to see what happens with the draft and with next season, and you know, if they can return and go on a run here, it'd be good for the program, and you know, but whatever those guys do, there's a lot of good players there, and they're fun to watch. So I'll be following them for a while.
Yeah, I'm curious, how crushing do you think it would have been, like, for an upperclassman or somebody like that last season, you know, having the tournament canceled right before the tournament and stuff? I mean, that's pretty devastating for those guys, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it so many ways with the state of the world, you know, a year ago from now, and it's just you know, it's hard. It's hard for everyone that had that, whether you're in college or high school, or just so many people had to, you know, put things on pause, and you know, it had to be very hard. You know, I feel for those guys.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yep. Thanks, Ted.
Last question from Yanni Benson with NHL International.
Yeah, I got a question in general. How important is it to score the first goal in the game, and why is that?
It's important. I think for our group, you know, it gives us a confidence. You know, you can kind of see it give us a jump. You know, we feel good after that. You know, it gives you that cushion. But you know, there's so much parity in this league that, you know, you've seen even with 3 or 4 goals, there's really no safe lead, and it goes back and forth, and you know, it's about the next play, the next shift, what you do with that, get back on the attack, and that's been a huge emphasis for us. Is after we score or after we're scored against, the next shift is very important.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Be back shortly with Coach Blackman.